أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمدك اللهم يا من نور قلوبنا بأنوار المحبة العلوية، وأكمل لنا ديننا بالولاية المرتضوية، وأتم نعمته علينا بالهداية الحيدرية. ونصلي ونسلم على الخاتم لما سبق، والفاتح لمن غلق، والمعلن الحق بالحق، والدافع جيشات الأباطيل، والدامي سولات الأضاليل، حبيبك وحبيبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيت الأطيبين، ولا سيما النور على النور في طخياء الديجور، والإمام المنصور، والسراج المستور، مهدي هذه الأمة وخاتم الأئمة، إمام زماننا الحجة بن الحسن العسكري، عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل وليا ما شاء الله، ودليلا وتمتعه فيها هر شب یادت ای دوست، هر شب یادت ای دوست، ما اشک آه داریم، وندر شب فراقت روزی سیاه داریم. ابن الحسن با یک نگاه ما را کشتی و زنده کردی، بس خاطرات شیرین از آن نگاه داریم. ابن الحسن تو دست ما بگیری از بس که لطف داری، ما از تو شمساریم از بس گناه داریم، از بس گناه داریم. یا ابن الحسن عجل علی ظهورک، عجل علی ظهورک. To pray for the hastening of the reappearance of our awaited Imam, let's recite 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. Respected mu'mineen, mu'minat, dear brothers and sisters, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One of the questions that usually comes to our mind on a regular basis, and we always wish to find the answer for, what's my aim? What's my goal? What's my purpose in life? In fact, what am I doing here? Where was I? Where am I heading? Why have I been given life? And what's this world all about? Whenever we go from one place to another, you find people may ask you this question, especially in the airports. What are you doing here? What's the purpose of your trip? Thankfully, many people nowadays use the e-gate, and it's very easy. But if you're one of those who are interrogated and you get secondary inspection, after a long haul flight, you really don't know what to say. You really sometimes are confused what to answer. What's the purpose of your trip? I'm here to go on a journey. I'm here to enjoy my holiday. But they want to interrogate you further. What's the purpose of your trip? And that's an answer that we all want to know. What's the purpose of my journey? I'm on a journey. I'm moving from one place to another. No one's here to stay. No one's here to remain. Every single person that we know one day came to this world and one day would leave. No one is here to remain forever. In fact, they mentioned that this world, this dunya, is like that transit airport, or it's like a corridor. You enter one door and you must leave the other. It's a transient temporal world, and everyone's here is one day going to leave this world. But we really wish to know the answer. Why am I here? What am I doing here? I could have answered very easily yesterday that I'm here for the FIFA World Cup, to watch, for example, the opening ceremony, Norway v New Zealand. I want to enjoy a few of the games and see a few of the merchandises that I want to buy and enjoy some of the scenery in this beloved land, and I could see everything else. But of course, we have a greater purpose. We have a greater reason. We have a greater goal, and we wish to understand our goal in life, so that before it's too late, and our life has ended, we have reached our purpose and our goal in this dunya, in this hayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is our creator, who created everything in this world with his utmost, absolute, infinite wisdom and hikmah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create this world in vain, without a purpose. Every creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a purpose, has a reason, has a hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And everything in this world needs to achieve that goal and purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states regards to us, the human beings, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored upon every other creation, from animals, plants, and inanimate objects. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored us upon everything else. He states in the Holy Quran, chapter 17, verse 71, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the special rank mankind has. Human being. We have something others don't. And that is the aql, the intellect, the ability to choose and make our own choices, our own decisions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to think, the ability to reflect, the ability to come to the best conclusion. In fact, I remember one of the advices that one of my teachers used to always say. He used to say, don't be like a log in the middle of the river. When you throw a log in the river, wherever the river flows, that log would be forced to go. He said, no, be like that captain which is in charge of the boat, in charge of the motor, in charge of the engine. You sail, you control where the boat flows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us an aql to make decisions between khair and shar. Decisions between good and evil. Decisions that will benefit me and decisions that will be harmful towards me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that we have given you the way, the sabil. Inna hadaynahus sabil. We have given you the path. We have given you the way. It is up to you to make the decision to take the path or abandon it. That's why you find many people have always come to a decision-making process. You are always, every second, every stage in your life, you have a decision to make. That's why Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he states so beautifully, إِذَا هَمَمْتَ بِأَمْرٍ فَتَدَبُّرْ فِي عَاقِبَتِهِ. If you were to ever to perform any action, before you take that action, look at the end aqibah of that action that you're going to take. Look at the end outcome of it. I'm sure many of you have heard of the two titles or terms we may state about someone. He is Husnul Aqibah or Su'ul Aqibah. Someone performed something really good, his end outcome was great. Someone performed such an act that was not good, his end outcome wasn't the best. Su'ul Aqibah. إِذَا هَمَمْتَ بِأَمْرٍ فَتَدَبَّرْ فِي عَاقِبَتِهِ. If you are to perform an action, look at the end outcome of that action. Think about it. فَإِنْ كَانَ رُشْدًا. If it was a good khayra, family, perform it. Perform that good action. You'll gain rewards for it. It's beneficial for you. It's helpful for you. وَإِنْ كَانَ شَرًّا. And if it was an evil, sinful action, فَانْصَرِفْ عَنْ. Then stay away from it. Refrain from it. That's why before every action, we should think about performing the action. We should take 2 steps of thinking before performing that action. What's my role? that we have in this world? What's my purpose? What's my goal? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me the aql, the intellect. He has given me the ability to choose. He has given me a special favor, a distinction upon every other creation. And that is the aql that I have. And then he states that there is a purpose and goal for every single human being in this world. Every single individual in this world, in their millions and their billions, every single one of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who states He created death, He created life. In Surah Al-Mulk, what does He say? الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةِ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His infinite wisdom, He is the creator, He is the khaliq. He created us, He created death, He created life. Why? لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. One of the purpose of goal of life is to test us, every single one of us. Every single individual is going through a test, is going through an imtihan. From the moment I'm in this world, from the moment I have hayat till the moment of my death, we are going through a test. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. To test you, which of us are the best in our a'mal, are best in our actions, are best in our deeds. We are all going through a test. We're all going to be sifted. We're all going to go through challenges. We're all going to go through difficulties. Every single individual in this world is going to go through a test. And this test is not easy. Don't think it's like a joyride that you're going to gain the best of favors in this world. No. The richest person in this world, the wealthiest person in this world is going through a test. They're tested with their richness. They're tested with their wealth. And those who are poor in this world, those who are going through poverty, they're going through a test. Male are going through a test. Female are going through the test. Healthy, the one who is healthy is going through the test. The one who is sick and ill is going through a test. The elder is going through a test. The young is going through a test. Every single individual is going through a test. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the tests and how these tests and trials and tribulations are for us to achieve perfection. For us to gain nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to go through these trials and tribulations and these challenges. Look at the prophets of Allah. Every single prophet, they went through a test. Their life was a test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions regards to Prophet Ibrahim. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim went through tests. He went through trials. He went through tribulations. He went through a test of sacrificing his own son. He went through the test of what? That his own son went through thirst and hunger. They went through tests. He went through tests of what? Of building the holy Kaaba in the desert plain land. He went through many tests. The Prophet of Allah, our holy Prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he went through tests and tests and tests and difficult moments and challenges, so much so that he would state, مَا أُوذِيَ نَبِيٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أُوذِيتَ. No prophet was hurt and went through difficulties like how the Holy Prophet of Islam went through all the challenges, all the pain, all the enmity from those around him. But the Holy Prophet passed the test, passed the challenges, and he was the most perfect. Not only he was Khatamul Anbiya, the seal of prophets was our Holy Prophet. He went through every single challenge and passed those challenges. He was the most perfect of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in these tests, in these trials that we are going through, that there are certain ornaments in this world that we need to be careful. They may deceive us. There may be certain ornaments that we love so much. They are moments for us to what? To make sure that we pass the test that we have. That there are certain jewels that we have, that don't attach yourself too much towards it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِنَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this world, in this hayat that we have tests, He says, we have given you certain ornaments. There are certain ornaments, there are certain jewels, there are certain zina in this world, that these zina, these jewels, you'll be tested with. You'll be tested how you used it. You'll be tested how much you attached yourself towards it, and you left the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are some of the things that we are tested with in this world? Allah says in the same surah, chapter 18, verse 46, He says, one of the most things that we are going to be tested with, every single one of us, Al-mal wal-banun zinatul hayat dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, one of those things that are zina in this world, are sources of ornaments and jewel in this world, are what? Are al-mal, number one. Wealth, al-mal, hubb al-dunya. Some people, they are so attached towards this mal, towards this dunya, yu'mi wa yuslim, that they become blinded. It's as if nothing else exists in this world. Hubb al-mal, wa tuhibbun al-mal hubban jamma. That some have become so much engrossed and in love with this mal, with this money-making system, that they don't even think about anything else in this world. All they're thinking is, how do I make more money day to day, and neglect the remembrance of Allah, and neglect the remembrance of gaining nearness towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Will be tested with our mal. Every single person will be tested with their wealth, whether they correctly use it, whether they abuse it, whether they neglect the poor by giving the Jews, whether they neglect by giving the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with their khums, with their zakat, with their sadaqah, with their charity. Every single one will be tested with the mal, with their mal, hubb al-mal. Al-mal zina in itself is a source of beauty. What else would be tested with? Al-mal wal-banun. Every single one of us will be tested with our own family, with our own children. How did I raise the upbringing of my sons and our daughter? I'll be tested. How did I remember the rights of my son, the rights of my daughter? I'll be tested. How much did I instill the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within my son and daughter? I'll be tested. How much did I teach the teachings of the Holy Quran within my sons and daughters? It will be a question that I'll be asked on the Day of Judgment. For example, it's stated that min haqqil waladi ala walidih. It is a right of a child upon their parents, upon their father, upon the parents. أن يعلمه القرآن، أن يعلمه الكتاب، أن يزوجه إذا بلغ. It's the right of the son and daughter that the father, mother teach them the teachings of the Holy Quran, teach them the teachings of writing, of skills, giving them life, day-to-day skills. Help them and encourage them to get married إذا بلغ, when it comes to the right time, right age, the necessary maturity that's there. That the first madrasa, the Islamic principle madrasa that my son and daughter go to is at home. that the first upbringing of the teachings of Islam is at home. That the father spends time with the son, with the daughter, that the mother spends time. You find this in the life of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. How much Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra alayha afdal salatu wassalam, she would sit beside Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. She would teach them from the ahadith, from the narrations. She would teach them from the words of the Holy Quran. She would even state to them, Ya bunay, ishbah abak. O Imam Hassan, follow the example and see your father as a role model. She would give them a role model for them to follow in their life. Follow the life of your beloved father. Or for example, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen would sit down with his beloved sons, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein. Ya bunay, he would say, oh beloved son, awwid lisanak husn al-istima'. Accustom your ears to listen to that which is best. Sometimes we find the father, mother are in one room, the son and daughter, they're blasting music in the other room, and no sense of coming and giving a maw'adah to their son and daughter. My beloved son, my beloved daughter, this music is inappropriate, this music is haram, this is not the teachings of the Quran, this is not the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt. Ya bunay, awwid lisanak husn al-istima'. Accustom your ears to listen to that which is appropriate. Awwid lisanak, awwid udunak. Accustom your tongue to speak that which is leenul kalam, to speak that which is appropriate. Al-mal wal-banoon. Both these will be tested with. These sources of ornaments, these sources of jewels. We love our sons, we love our daughters, we love our children. Will be tested how we raise them. How much we instilled the love of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad within them. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala. Hence, with this test and the tests that we are going through, every single one of us, and the tests that we are wishing to achieve a pass rate at the end of the day, correct? Every single one of us, at the end of every exam, my most important thought is, did I pass? Or God forbid, did I fail? Whenever we go to school, university, college, and it's exam day, as soon as the exams pass, our most important reflection is what? That I'm just waiting for the day of the results. And all I want to know is, did I pass? All I want to know is, did I really achieve success? We want to achieve success. At the end of the day, in this hayat, towards my death, all I really want to know is, have I really passed the test? Have I been a successful mu'min? Have I been a successful believer? Have I achieved the purpose of life in order for me to what? To achieve success? What is the currency for me to achieve success? What are the things that I need to improve upon on my day-to-day basis in order for me to what? To know that I have succeeded in life? What are they? Number one is taqwa. The first thing as a currency, because many times we are talking about currencies, and in the world today you find that people are talking about the dollar and non-dollar. Are you going to use the dollar? Our country is going to away from the dollar. No. The most important currency for success as a believer, as a mu'min, is his taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O mankind, we have created you, male, female, tribes, groups, families, لِتَعَارَفُوا, in order for you to recognize and understand one another, coexist with one another. But the most honorable amongst you is who? The one who has taqwa. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. Atqakum. Taqwa is the most important theme and the most repeated theme in the Holy Quran. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. For example, the month of Ramadan we fast. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Allah says about those who have gained victory, إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ مَفَازًا. Those who truly have gained victory are fawzun azim, are those who have taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about taqwa, that's the currency and the price that I need to have in this world in order for me to achieve Jannah, in order for me to achieve paradise. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam states, he says, there are two things that an abd salih, that a true believer, a true servant of God, thamanul jannah, he says the price of Jannah is what? Husnul khulq wa taqwa Allah. Is to have good manners, morality, and what? Taqwa Allah. Taqwa Allah. What does taqwa Allah mean? You find various translations in English language. Righteousness, piety, goodness. But the best form of the word taqwa Allah is what? God consciousness. That I remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single moment in my life. That I remember the thought that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of my actions throughout my life. That before I perform every action, I remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is this action going to please Allah? I will perform it. I remember He is aware of my actions. He is aware of what I'm going to perform. Imam al-Sadiq so beautifully says to Ishaq, Ya Ishaq, khifillah ka'annaka tara. Oh Ishaq, fear your actions in front of God, in front of Allah, as if you can see Him. But no, you can never see Him. فَإِنَّكَ لَن تَرَى فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. Know that God always sees you. He's always aware of your actions. Then he states, فَإِذَا, if you went towards that action, the haram, sinful action, with the thought in your mind that أَنَّهُ يَرَاكَ, that Allah is seeing me, let me perform this action. He is seeing me, it's fine, it's just for 5 minutes, it's just for 1 hour, it's just a sinful, it's just one night. Have you seen the response some people give sometimes? It's just one night of a wedding. We can have our wedding in this haram way, with this music, with this mixed gathering, with the haram inappropriate action. It's just one night, Maulana. What's wrong with it? It's just one night. He says, فَإِذَا بَرَزْتَ إِلَى الْمَعْصِيَةِ, if you went towards that ma'siyah, and you knew that Allah is seeing you, but you had the audacity to go towards that action, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ what? أَنَّهُ جَعَلْتَهُ مِنْ أَهْوَنِ النَّاظِرِينَ عَلَيْكَ, that you have belittled Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because that same action you would dare not to perform in front of others. That same action, for example, al-'iyadu billah, you will not perform it in front of your parents. That same action, sometimes you look towards the left, you look towards the right, you close the doors, you close the windows, you make sure the cameras are not even watching, you make sure nothing's recording you. But know that وَلَا يُمْكِنُ الْفِرَارُ مِنْ حُكُومَتِهِ. But know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Quran, أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. Mankind, are you not aware? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing your actions. Not only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing your actions, these two angels are raqib. They are watching, shahidan alaykum. They are bearing witness upon your actions. فَإِذَا بَرَزْتَ إِلَى الْمَعْصِيَةِ, and if you went towards that ma'siyah, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, that sinful act, and you said for yourself that no, for these next 5-10 minutes God is not seeing me, He is busy somewhere else, فَإِنَّهُ قَدْ كَفَرْتَ بِاللَّهِ, then God forbid, you have kafarta billah, you have blasphemed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala huwa shahid. His title is what? He is the one who always watches. He always oversees my action. So a true mu'min who wishes to pass this test is the one who has the first currency. That is what? Taqwa. Who increases their taqwa every single day. In what? In remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala bidhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Verily, with the constant remembrance of Allah, these hearts gain iman, these hearts gain certainty. Look at the life of the Ahlul Bayt. Whenever they would perform an action, before the action they would remember Allah. During the action they would remember Allah, and even after the action was completed and sealed, they would remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That action was qurbatan in Allah, radan lillah, fi sabilillah. Why? Because they had that sense of taqwa. What's taqwa? Taqwa comes from the word waqaya. Waqaya means to safeguard, to abstain, to protect, to shield myself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that even libasul taqwa, to have the clothing and protection of taqwa, that is the best, that is the khair. That protection of taqwa that shields me away from haram, away from sins. Number one, taqwa. Number two is the sense of ubudiyyah. Number two is what? Is the sense of servitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we testify in our salah and in our adhan and in our iqamah, we testify after the testimony of La ilaha illallah, we bear witness in our salah. What do we say? وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا, what do we say? عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. That number one, the greatest of creation, the most perfect individual, before he was a messenger, what was he? He was an abd of Allah. He was a true servant of Allah. He truly performed his actions in servitude to God, in remembrance of God. And that is why in these nights, who do remember? The one who, not only he was named Imam al-Hussein, what was he called? Aba Abdullah. Ya Aba Abdullah. The one who was the father of what? Of that remembrance of what? Of truly servitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That everything in my life, as an abd of Allah, as a servant of God, I perform everything to serve my master. Serving him is an honor that we can't even measure, can we? That's why the third currency is what? After gaining taqwa and remembering to be of those who have servitude towards God, the third is what? Is to always strive to please Him. Always strive to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ridan lillah. Perform your actions for rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You find the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt, whenever they would come towards a task, a difficulty, or a challenge in life, you find this in the lessons of Karbala, Ashura, that they would respond, رَضًا لِلَّهِ إِن كَانَ هَذَا يُرْضِيكَ فَقُدْ حَتَّى تَرْضَى. Oh Allah, if these actions of sacrifices from us please you, then take as much to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that my life is all to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that in this test and trial that I'm going through, The difficulties that I'm going to go through, I know through these tests and trials, as I'm gaining nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my aim is not to please myself, but rather to please my Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, as we're coming to the first night of the holy nights of Muharram, we need to really reflect and change our own selves. An inner reflection. I need to plan my day, my months and year ahead. I need to truly be of those who, as I am gaining steps towards my death, think, how have I changed my taqwa? How much have I gained servitude towards God? How much am I performing my actions to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Make a habitual change in my life. Sometimes there may be a gradual change, a slow change that I gain nearness to God. Sometimes there need to be an immediate change, an immediate stop to certain sins that I've performed. I need to give a stop today towards it and say, no, tonight I am embarking on an ark that is like no other ark. Safinatul Hussein, the ark of salvation. Safina of Imam al-Hussein, man rakibaha faqad naja. Whoever embarks on the ark of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, then they are safe. Then they are the ones who have gained salvation. وَمَنْ تَرَكَ عَنْهَا فَقَدْ هَلَكَ. And the one who ignores it, then they have drowned within their own sins. Then they are at loss, destruction. I need to make a change, a reform. Self-reflect, plan ahead. How am I going to pass this test? My own test, my own individualistic test and challenge in my life today. That's why when we look at the life of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam, every single one of them passed their test. They passed their test. That's why they were the most perfect individuals of their time. There were no individuals better than the Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam at that time. And today, until the last day, there is no one better than Muhammad and Ala Muhammad salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'in. They passed their test, they succeeded the challenges, and they went through difficult moments. They had true taqwa Allah. Amir al-Mu'mineen, what was his title? Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Imam al-Muttaqeen. You find they all had taqwa Allah. They always remembered Allah. Imam Ali ibn Musa, what is his title? Ar-Rida, the one who always pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You find Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, who not only went through the tests of Banu, the test of his own children, but the tests of his own family, the tests of his own very own city that he was in, the tests of his own life, the tests of his own beloved friends, the tests of his own beloved companions, the tests and tests and tests that for some of us, if we were to be given one of the tests of Imam al-Hussein, we would find it so difficult. We'll find it so challenging. That's why every mu'min, mu'minah, whenever you go through difficulty in your life, whenever you go through musibah in your life, and we go through masa'ib in this world, whenever you go through moments of perseverance, moments of patience, always remember these words, La yawm ka yawmuka ya Aba Abdullah. There is no day like your day, Abu Abdullah. If I go through difficulty, it's nothing in comparison to the difficulty of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. That's why when Imam al-Hussein was in Medina, the governor of Medina came with a message that, "Oh, Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, there is a message that you must give allegiance. You must give your hand in bay'ah." Towards who? Towards the Caliph, towards the Khalifa, towards Yazid. Imam set himself straight in that test, in that challenge. He said, "Inni lam akhruj ashiran, wala batiran, wala mufsidan, wala zaliman." He said, "I am not going to give allegiance to him, but let me tell you, I am going to leave the city of Medina, not for any evil, not for any waste." Imam had a mission. Imam had a resolution. Imam had a reform. Imam resurrected the true teachings of Islam. وَلَا بَطِرًا وَلَا مُفْسِدًا. Walakin, let me tell you why Aba Abdullah al-Hussein is leaving the city of Medina. وَلَكِنْ خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّي. I leave the city of Medina. Why? For I have a mission and a goal. لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ, to reform the true teachings of my grandfather Rasulullah. And amra bil ma'ruf, to enjoin the good. وَأَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, to forbid the evil. وَأَسِيرُ بَسِيرَةِ جَدِّي وَأَبِي, and to follow the footsteps and the path of my grandfather Rasulullah and my father Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Months before Muharram, Imam al-Hussein, he would bid farewell to a city which was most beloved to him, city of his birthplace. He would go towards his beloved ones, and one by one he would bid farewell towards them. Al-Wida, Al-Wida. And then he would go towards the qabr of his beloved grandfather Rasulullah. Masjid al-Nabawi, many of us who have had the honor to visit in itself, reminds us of the farewell of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. He sits beside the grave of Rasulullah, his beloved grandfather. Ya Jaddah, Ya Rasulallah. Oh grandfather Rasulullah, bear witness what's happened towards your beloved Hussein. What they are performing towards your beloved Hussein. How they have betrayed your beloved grandson, Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam Hussein, he falls asleep beside his qabr of beside the qabr of his beloved grandfather Rasulullah. He states to him, "Oh beloved Hussein, there is a position in Jannah saved for you, and that shall be when you achieve your shahada and your martyrdom." Imam al-Hussein says, "Ya Rasulallah, ضمني عندك في هذا الضريع." Ya Rasulallah, allow me to remain and stay within the qabr, within this place with you. He bids farewell towards the qabr of Rasulullah. Then he bids farewell towards his beloved brother Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. Al-Hassan wal-Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. Imam Hassan and Imam al-Hussein are the masters of the youth of paradise. Imam al-Hussein, he bids farewell towards the qabr of his brother Imam al-Hussein, his brother Imam Hassan. Then there is one more grave. that he must bid farewell towards. A grave, a qabr. Then when we go towards Medina today, we see the qabr of A'immatul Baqi', we see the qabr of Rasulullah. Then we ask one another, where is the qabr of our mother Fatimah Zahra? Imam Hussein approaches the qabr of his beloved mother Fatimah Zahra. Mother Fatima, I am your Habib, I am your Hussein. Mother Fatima, Hussein is gharib in Medina. Hussein is giving his farewell towards the qabr of Fatimah Zahra and departs from the city of Medina. Medina of Rasulullah no longer would see Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का। जब सामने आता है, जब सामने आता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का। हम सूरत ज़हरा से भाई के बिछड़ने की, खातूने क़यामत के घर बार उजड़ने की, घर बार उजड़ने की दाद सुनाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का। काटा है गला लोगों सहरोज के प्यासे का, पामाल हुआ लाशा अहमद के नवासे का, अहमद के नवासे का। हर एक को बताता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुलाता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का। तस्वीर दिखाता है अहमद की जवानी की, हर शख्स को दुनिया में करबल की कहानी की, करबल की कहानी की तस्वीर बताता है ये चांद मुहर्रम का, सुगरा को रुला صغرا کو رلاتا چاند محرم کا، کربل کی زیارت کو جو آنکھ ترستی تھی، شبیر تیرے غم میں جو آنکھ برستی تھی، جو آنکھ برستی تھی، اس آنکھ کو بھاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، صغرا کو رلاتا صغرا کو رلاتا ہے عمران کو شبر کو خاتون قیامت کو، حیدر کی قسم مظہر سرکار رسالت کو، سرکار رسالت کو تربت میں رلاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، صغرا کو رلاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، صغرا کو رلاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، جب سامنے آتا ہے، جب سامنے آتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، صغرا کو رلاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، صغرا کو رلاتا ہے یہ چاند محرم کا، اور محمد وآل محمد صلوات متوجہ ازارت۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، السلام علی رسول اللہ حبیب اللہ، خیرت ہی من خلق خاتم الانبیاء والمرسلین ابو القاسم محمد المصطفى ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علی امیر المؤمنین ووصی رسول رب العالمین ابو الحسن علی بن ابی طالب ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علی فاطمة الزہراء البتول سیدۃ النساء العالمین ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علی سبط رحمة وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي الشباب أهل الجنة ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله عبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله حرد مني لزيارتكم، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي يا مولاي أبو الفضل العباس وأختك زينب أم كلثوم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام على أئمة المسلمين وحجج الله على خلقه علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا مولاي صاحب الزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل مخرجك وجعلنا من أنصارك وأخوانك والمستشهدين بين يديك في جملة أوليائك ورحمة الله وبركاته، صلوات أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا
وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها